lost once more. My grand vision of reclamation left in ruins. I have failed my people. This must not stand. The Nerazim of Shakuras ritually sever their connection to the Kala. Because of this, they are now the last free Protoss. I must reach them before Amon's armies.
Is overrun. Loss of life is extensive. Hold. We are receiving a transmission.
Praise the gods. Artanis, you live.
Matriarch Vorazun, what has happened here?
Shakuras has fallen. The warp gate linking this world to Ire has been reopened. Countless hybrid and Zerg pour from the other side. They've obliterated our cities, decimated our Shadow Guard. We are trying to evacuate the remaining population, but I am uncertain whether we can hold long enough to get them safely away.
We will give you the time you need, Matriarch. My Templar are inbound.
Hierarch, before our armies engage the enemy, it would be wise to review our military capabilities within the War Council.
Ire is lost. And now Shakuras hangs by a thread. It is so empty without the Kala. The voices of my people, lost in darkness. Without the Kala, the Nerazim are free from Amon's corruption. And to think we called them heretics once. Karax, even without the Kala's light, I can sense your sadness, your pain. Does the spear of Adun bring you no joy?
That is just it, Hierarch. Without the Kala, it is as if I am blind. I cannot sense your feelings, know the true depth of your thoughts. I cannot call upon the surety of other phase-smiths. I am alone.
I feel the isolation as well. As though thrashing within the vacuum of space. But you are not alone, brother.
To think, the Dark Templar have endured this existence all this time. The days ahead will not be easy.
We may not have the Kala to rely on, Karax, but we still stand as one. We will endure. There is no other option.
My Dark Templar were tracking your invasion on Ire when we were cut off. Then the warp gate opened. What happened, Artanis?
Amon used the Kala to seize control of the Templar. I could feel his rage tearing through me, and I was powerless against it. Zeratul found me. It was there that he...
Yes?
He tried to free me. And he succeeded, at the cost of his own life. He fell by my hand.
It was Amon's deed, not yours.
Zeratul came to me with a warning, but I did not act. Because of this, he is now gone, and the stars burn dimmer for his loss. Amon's deed or not, I carry a burden, Matriarch. One that cannot be easily lifted. A preserver? Released from stasis?
She still bears her nerve cords. She is tethered to the Kala.
Hold. I am Rohana, Grand Preserver of the Valari, and your War Council advisor. You must be the executor in command.
You are not possessed by the Dark One. How is this possible?
I feel darkness lingering at the edges of my every thought, but I am not corrupted. Preservers of my station have trained to control the Kala's every ripple. I assure you, I will stave off this evil and serve you better by doing so. As all preservers, I hold the memories and personalities of Protoss prior to my submission to stasis. This will allow me to contrast your tactical decisions with those of past executors. From this chamber, you will be able to make all military allocations.
I am Artanis, Hierarch of the Daylon. I lead all that is left of our civilization. Your memories are indeed of use, Rohana. But make no mistake. If you fall to this corruption, I will not hesitate to destroy you.
It is understood. I am prepared for the Firstborn's darkest hour. Come, let me show you what may be done here. The assembly panel awaits, Hierarch. We may begin whenever you are ready.
I have heard only tales of the Grand Preservers. I did not expect to encounter one aboard this vessel.
That is not surprising, Hierarch. My sisters and I are unique, trained from birth to master every intricacy of the Kala. I have experienced its true depth, plunged the infinite spectrum of emotion and memory. It is because of this gift we were selected to enter stasis, so that we may guide you in our most dire hour.
Your sisters were aboard the other Ark ships? Then they...
Are one with the Kala, fallen during the Zerg invasion of Aiur. I know this. I feel the tragedy that has befallen us, more deeply than you may realize.
A terrible burden has been laid upon you, Rohana.
Yet it is my fate to bear it. A fate foreseen by the same minds that constructed this vessel. I trust in their wisdom, Hierarch. I will serve my purpose, much as you must serve yours. The assembly panel allows you to customize your army based on the Protoss technology we encounter. Select a warrior category to begin. Now you may choose one of the two factions for use in upcoming battles. These assignments are not permanent and can be altered as our combat needs change. Many battles await you, Hierarch. Choose a faction and lead them to glory.
We are the Blades of Iron. The Shadow Guard waits. I am here in the shadows. I have returned.
The Zerg infestation is overtaking Telemetros. Our evacuation is already in great peril. Your aid cannot come soon enough, Hierarch. Shakuras teams with Amon's Zerg broods. We hold only the southwest quadrant of Telemetros. And even that is in peril. We must evacuate our people, but the launch bays have been defiled with infestation. Only ground forces can clear them. Once the bays are free, the planetary warp conduit will allow our ships to escape safely.
The launch bays will be cleared. Your people will survive, Matriarch. This I swear.
You will need the aid of my Dark Templar in this battle. They can strike from the shadows without fear of reprisal. Artanis detecting a rift opening near your position. A Void Thrasher. By the gods, it's sieging the warp conduit!
Karax, are any of the Spear of Idun's weapon systems ready for use?
Orbital strike is online. Designating targets.
The Thrasher has been weakened. Warriors, move in and seal its fate!
Orbital strikes can now be fired from the Spear of Idun's command panel, Hierarch.
Thrasher is slain, but it will be for naught if the launch bays remain infested.
These vaults hold the city's last energy reserves. Claiming them should aid you in the fight ahead.
Indeed. Completing bonus objectives will allow me to improve the Spear of Idun's power. There are 2 vaults left in the city. You must construct additional pylons. This will provide us with supply we can use to train new warriors.
Shore up our defenses. The Zerg are moving to attack our nexus point.
If possible, we should warp in more photon cannons. They will help our nexus point defend against enemy incursions.
A second Thrasher. The conduit is under assault.
The Zerg have extensively fortified this area. An orbital strike would help us break through their defenses.
Be careful. The Spore Crawlers and Overseers ahead can detect our Dark Templars' movements. Slay them first.
I am but a phantom. Clever.
The Thrasher has been eliminated. This would be an opportune moment to clear the launch bays.
Speed of the narrative.
Another Thrasher has appeared. You know what must be done.
That should buy the conduit more time.
Clever. By the void.
Matriarch Vorazun, the first launch bay has been cleared. Continue evacuating.
Engaging foe. I will comply.
We have secured a second launch bay.
Well done. Half of the bays are launching evacuation ships.
I am in
Ilmon has sent another Void Thrasher against us. Slay it before the conduit falls.
Another Thrasher felled. Is there no end to these abominations?
We are recovering the last Solarite reserve now. The solar core should be augmented by the time our forces return, Hierarch.
We have purged the infestation. Only one launch bay remains disabled.
Is upon us.
Artanis, another Void Thrasher has been summoned. This one is in the heart of the city.
Well done, brave warriors. Amon's Thrashers are no match for the Templar.
The warp conduit has lost half of its durability. The Thrashers must be dealt with soon. The conduit has sustained significant damage. Artanis, you must stop the Thrashers or all is lost. The destruction of the warp conduit is imminent. Slay the Thrashers, quickly!
The launch bays have been reclaimed. Matriarch, you may complete the evacuation.
You have saved my people, Artanis, and they will never forget it.
Despite this tragedy, I am pleased to see you once more, Hierarch. I had hoped that our next interaction would be your announcement of Ayer's reclamation.
As did I. Instead, the Templar have fallen.
Then the threat is greater than I realized.
We cannot let the same fate befall Shakuras.
It is too late for that. Amon Zerg poured through the warp gate as a tide of flesh and blade. They have already overrun Telemetros and are nearing the shrines of Lazul. This world is lost. With such an infestation, Shakuras must be destroyed.
Destroy Shakuras? I will not permit this.
Permit? Shakuras was my people's home long before we offered yours sanctuary upon it. I will not let this world be a den for Amon's forces. Worlds may fall to ash. What matters is that we endure.
To lose Shakuras and Ayer.
We are a vagabond people, Artanis. Our true home has always been Ayer. Let us reclaim it together.
It is fitting that the daughter of Raja Gal decides the fate of the world she helped forge. Let us make preparations at once.
The solar core requires your attention, Hierarch. Please visit it at your earliest convenience.
Of all the Templar, you never wavered in the belief that our two peoples could live in unity. It is something I admired in you.
It is ironic to hear you say this. All this time, I believed you were reluctant to accept the unity I sought.
You and I had many a disagreement in the Twilight Council. For day by day, I saw my people losing what they were. I saw our precious old ways erode.
You wished to preserve them.
I am Nerazim, Dark Templar. I hold great pride in my people.
But you are also Protoss. That is the greater affiliation.
That is not what the Conclave believed when we were exiled long ago. Your kind had ire. Our culture is all we ever had.
The Solar Matrix Core. Truly an impressive sight.
A synthetic star. Imagine what went into its creation. This chamber provides power to the Spear of Adum and all its systems. Its radiance even contributes nourishment for our warriors.
how long until you can bring its tactical systems online?
System analysis has begun, but the star has lain dormant for an eon. It will take time, and a powerful ignition catalyst like Solarite to restore it to full capacity.
Solarite? The Firstborn haven't utilized Solarite in millennia.
This vessel is ancient, Hierarch. We will need to exhaust even unconventional resources if we are to bring it to bear.
Do what you can, Phase Smith. We will acquire what you need.
Very well. You may begin augmenting the solar core whenever you are ready. Select the core to start reviewing your options, Hierarch.
You look different, Phase Smith.
Ah, you must be referring to these mechanical arms. I constructed them to improve my efficiency while running the solar core. So far, they have been quite helpful. I've been trying to isolate the major population centers in need of evacuation. The Zerg signatures far outnumber those of the Protoss, but most of the survivors seem to have gathered within Talametros.
There must be Nerazine Phase Smiths you know among them. Those who stayed behind.
I am not seeing any Protoss life signs from within the engineering base, Hierarch.
Then they have met their fate.
Or perhaps they fought their way to safety. The Dark Templar do not follow our caste system. Some of their Phase Smiths are trained warriors, skilled as any of ours.
That does give them an advantage I had not realized. But then, our people are very different.
Of course, Hierarch. This array displays an overview of the Spear of Adun's weapon and support systems. Each system can only be configured to have one active ability at a time. You may select different abilities to complement your tactical decisions in different battles, Hierarch. Our current available Solarite is displayed here. Any leftover Solarite can be routed to our auxiliary systems. You may begin diverting Solarite now.
All this time, this wretched little world was within striking distance of our fleets.
Much has changed since your era, Preserver.
First you consort with those Terrans, and now the Fallen Ones? It is heresy. You must know this.
The Dark Templar are now our allies.
There was a time when the Protoss were broken. Throughout the Aeon of Strife, we tore at each other with wanton abandon. Only one path was ever found to end the madness and unify our people. The Kala. The Dark Ones rejected its light. They denied their own race. How can you fight for them?
For one so sworn to preserve our history, Rohana, how can you be so blind to its turn?
I see I have offended you, Hierarch. My apologies. Adapting to this period is difficult. Cloaked warriors are now available for deployment.
Khartoum. Vengeance for ire.
Many of my Dark Templar have volunteered to act as scouts for us. They will keep us aware of Amon's movements. The evacuation ships have reported in. All are present, and are being escorted by the Spear of Adun. Amon is beyond any foe we have faced. If we do not act soon, he will devastate the entire sector. May Rashagal light the path to victory. Artanis. Artanis. Welcome. Welcome back, Artanis. Ah, Hierarch. It is good to see you. Greetings, Artanis. There is still much to be done. Welcome, Hierarch.
The War Council awaits you, Hierarch. Artanis, Hierarch of the Dalam. I welcome you, Hierarch. Our Hierarch has chosen to grace us with his presence. Your warriors await. I greet you, Artanis. Hierarch, welcome. May the knowledge of our ancestors aid us in this final hour. The wisdom of history is at your call, Hierarch. Artanis.
Greetings, Hierarch. Hierarch. Welcome to the Solar Core. Artanis. Welcome, Hierarch. Good. Hierarch. The Solar Core awaits. Solar output is stable, Hierarch. We are operating at optimum efficiency, Hierarch. The Solar Core is functioning perfectly, Hierarch. Artanis, you are more than welcome.
This was not an easy decision, but I would rather see Shakuras destroyed than overwhelmed by Amon Zerg. We have much to plan, Hierarch.
Tell me, Vorazun, how will we bring destruction to your world?
The Zelnaga Temple's phase prism can be overloaded, forcing a spike of energy into the planet's core. Enough of a charge, and the planet will shatter. Amon will not possess my world.
I have been thinking about this choice.
Are you reconsidering?
No. My time here has reminded me of the courage of your people. That we must fight. If we are to suffer, then so too will Amon. We will lure as many of Amon's hybrid and Zerg through the gateway as we can. Only once enough are through to wound him will we overload the temple and flee.
You mean to bleed him? Bold. But we can't risk the forces it would require to do such a thing.
Leave that to me, Matriarch. I have learned much from the Dark Templar.
Our forces have secured the Zelnaga Temple grounds. Artanis, how go your preparations?
I am configuring the temple now, but without the Uraj and the Callus, it will take time.
Time is not all it will take. The temple's energies are regulated by 3 Zenith stones. Only once they are destroyed can the temple be overloaded.
Until then, we must defend it from the Zerg and their hybrid masters.
The Nerazim have long used Kadaran monoliths to protect our lands. I see your Phasesmith has become familiar with them.
Indeed, Matriarch. The monoliths are quite deadly and fire a considerable distance. They should prove instrumental in our defense.
The moment has come. Let us begin! The sooner the Zenith Stones are destroyed, the better off we shall be. The Zerg will overwhelm the temple grounds shortly.
Agreed. Although, should it become necessary, my Dark Templar can sneak through the enemy and destroy the stones. The Zerg gathered for an attack to the southwest. Ignite your blades, warriors!
Hierarch, there are more resources nearby. We can construct a second nexus near them to accelerate our harvesting.
Another brood of Zerg is preparing to attack from a hive to the northwest. Artanis, our observers are reporting a vast number of Zerg have poured onto Shakuras.
And yet, not a single hybrid. Amon is testing our resolve.
The Zerg approach the temple from the southeastern accessway. Ready yourselves, Templar. The Zerg are moving to assault both sides of the temple.
We will...
Curious. There are overlords closing on the temple grounds.
I have seen this tactic before. They are transporting ground forces. Destroy the overlords, quickly.
Our readouts indicate there are nearly 500 million Zerg on Shakuras. All of them moving for this temple.
Let them come. The Templar will endure.
Be on guard, warriors. The Zerg are attacking the temple from all three sides at once.
The Master's gaze falls on your shadowed world.
By the gods, I have never seen such abomination. Warriors, focus all cannons on the hybrid. We must defend the temple.
Exercise caution when attacking a Zenith Stone. The energies within may become volatile as it is damaged.
A great many Zerg now stand between us and the Zenith Stones. It would be wise to use my Dark Templar to destroy them, Hierarch. Hierarch, I have never borne witness to so many Zerg. Was this the threat my mother once faced?
No, Matriarch. This threat is a far greater one, and it will take all we have to resist it.
It is done. The Zenith Stones have been destroyed. Once your task is complete, the temple can be overloaded.
Understood. And the temple alignment is proceeding well. Now, we wait for the Zerg. The moment approaches, warriors. The temple is realigning. It will be ready soon.
Hierarch, I have discovered a solarite cache beneath the Zelnaga temple. If we can hold longer, I should be able to retrieve it.
Begin the retrieval process, Karax. We will hold the temple as long as we can. The temple thrums with energy. It is ready.
Solarite retrieval is still in progress. If we can hold on just a while longer. It is done. The Solarite has been successfully warped aboard the Spear of Adun.
Base is under attack.
Templar, initiate dimensional recall. Get to safety, now!
The Zerg are poised to breach the temple.
Have faith, Matriarch. Your fallen people cry out for vengeance, and they shall have it.
That those of our kind suffer, separated from the glory of the Kala. waged in the name of the many. The brave, whose generation after generation choose the mantle of Dark Templar.
And Arudin Shakuras, you were our salvation, and we will forever remember that. At least the Nerazim are safe now. I hope we will be able to rescue our brethren on Ire soon. I cannot believe you survived the fight in the Temple Hierarch. Did you have some weapons enhancements I did not know about?
The Nerazim fought valiantly beside us, even unto the destruction of their world. Why?
Their homeworld has always been Ire. They have never forgotten it, or the sacrifice that delivered them to safety.
You speak of Adun. So saith Judicator Zentheon. Adun failed to eradicate the rogue tribes, those who call themselves the Dark Templar. We witnessed the burst of the Twilight Star. In that treasonous instant, Adun ushered the heretics and himself to fate, purifying Ire of their taint, but allowing them life.
Treason? Adun chose mercy rather than committing genocide. This was a noble act, Preserver.
Was it? I see history through the eyes of those who lived it, Artanis.
Perhaps this is why you are blind to all that is before you. History's truths are only ever understood looking through the backwards lens, seeing its consequences take root.
As a preserver, I have always experienced history as a living, breathing now, as those who experienced it in the moment did. Perhaps I should consider the way you view it.
In Arudin, Shakuras.
If only I had heeded Zeratul warning. We lost the Kala, and now Shakuras. Yet we still live, and that is no small gift.
Shakuras is gone. It has become one with the eternal night. But the traditions we forged there will remain with us forever.
Is that still possible, Matriarch?
More so than you may realize. What do you know of the Shadow Walk, Artanis?
Little. Your people closely guard their customs.
It is our most sacred rite of passage. The Initiate stands alone. Members of her tribe strike against her from the shadows. If she endures, she becomes a Shadow Hunter, true Dark Templar.
Why do you speak of this?
You stood alone, as Dark Templar, against countless enemies, risking your life for the many. You have walked as we have. You have walked the Shadow Path already, Artanis. You no longer have the Kala. You are Dark Templar. The Shadow moves against us.